talk about something else today. Something a little bit different from books and writing, which is what I normally talk about. Some of you who actually pay attention and watch my videos may know that I officially came out as ace to all of you, that's asexual to the uninitiated. I came out as asexual to all of you here on my YouTube channel in a 25 Facts About Me video. Yay! Now before I didn't exactly hide the fact that I was asexual, but I didn't come out and announce it either. Now remember, if you find out that somebody has a sexuality that you're not quite sure about, don't just blurt out a bunch of questions. That's super rude. However, I do give you my permission to ask me questions about my asexuality, if you have any, in the comments below. However, if you are rude to me or rude to anyone else down in the comments section, you're out of here. I know we have a long way to go when it comes to representation for queer people in the media. Only recently have we been getting gay and lesbian characters, and even very rarely bisexual characters in our media. You still don't see very many pan characters. That's just not a thing that happens. And something you really don't see is asexual characters. They're super rare, you guys. And I know what you're thinking. Well, can't you just take that character who doesn't get a romance and pretend they're asexual? Well, as anyone who is unrepresented can tell you, that's not the same as representation. We need more out asexual characters, characters who are out to we, the audience members, so we know that they are in fact like us. But since there are so few, today my video about my favorite ace characters is going to include characters that I have headcanoned to be asexual, characters that have not come straight out and told us that they are ace. If you feel the need to go fill that comment section with comments about how all of the characters on my list totally feel sexual attraction to people all the time, that's your prerogative, but I'm probably not gonna listen to you. Just this once, man. Just give me a little something. There is so little asexual representation in the media. It is hard to find. Okay, but I have talked enough about my gripes. Let's get to my list of my favorite asexual characters, which includes characters that are not explicitly asexual in the show, but which could be considered to be asexual by the viewers. My number 5 spot goes to Data from Star Trek. Yes, he has been sort of an asexual icon for a while now, and even though he is anatomically correct, it can definitely be argued that he does not feel sexual attraction. Now, perhaps Data strives to one day be able to feel sexual attraction as he strives to become more human, which brings up a whole nother kettle of fish in which asexuals are considered non-humans, and we're just not even gonna go there. But when I was a kid and I didn't even know what asexuality was, Data was one of my favorite characters and still is. My number 4 spot is again Star Trek, and this one is a little bit more headcanon-y. A friend of mine and I, who are both ace, feel that Spock from Star Trek the original series was asexual. Probably not a romantic, but asexual, simply meaning that Spock did not feel sexual attraction. We feel that he is a good example of what an asexual Vulcan might look like. Now, I know he does get romantic interest throughout the show, and I know a lot of you really want him to be gay for Jim or Bones or both. But if you can headcanon him that way, even though there's no proof in the show, then I can headcanon him to be ace. So Spock is definitely one of my favorite, potentially asexual characters. My number 3 spot goes to Daryl from The Walking Dead, and this I actually have confirmation on. The actor Norman Reedus has confirmed that Daryl is asexual, which made me so happy. Watching that show for a while, I did have a few ships for Daryl, because I'm not aromantic and I don't mind shipping people. However, he always behaved in a way that implied that he was not interested, and at first I was confused, until I finally learned that we actually have an asexual character in a popular TV show, and the stars aligned and I was like, hallelujah! It was good times, and so now I love Daryl's character even more than I already loved his character. My number 3 spot goes to Detective Robert Goren from Law and Order. Now, I haven't seen every single episode of Law & Order. I have watched a lot of it. Back when we lived in town and had internet that wasn't complete shit, I was making my way through the series on Netflix, and I can't think of, off the top of my head, an episode where Robert Goren showed any interest in sexual activities. Now, I could be wrong, and you may be rushing to the comment section right now to talk about how he totally does. But for right now, since I don't have any proof of it, I'm happy to headcanon him as an asexual character. I did do a little bit of research on the internet and couldn't find anything that conclusively said he was asexual, but I also didn't find too much conclusively saying that he had relationships, you know, sexual relationships on the show, so I'm gonna go with it. And my number one favorite asexual character is Sherlock Holmes. I know what you're thinking. Everybody wants him to be gay for Watson, and the few of you who don't ship him with Irene Adler or various other women from throughout his Sherlock Holmesy history. However, it is pretty clear to me that Sherlock Holmes is ace. Even in the original stories, he shows a marked lack of sexual attraction in anyone. He can pretend, and he can seem to be in love if he needs to get something from someone, but he shows no interest. I think he's asexual and he's aromantic. And even in the new Sherlock series for the BBC, he makes it pretty clear that he's asexual. He has conversations with Watson where he tells Watson explicitly that he is not interested in a relationship or a sexual relationship. And behaving just like people who aren't asexual often do, Watson brushes it off. That never gets old, you guys. It never gets old. But anyway, in many of his iterations, Sherlock Holmes is true to the original stories and does not show any sexual attraction to anyone. And I love it. Sherlock Holmes has always been one of my favorite characters, even from my childhood, because I was a very strange child and watched a lot of Sherlock Holmes movies when I was a kid. Basically, instead of Barney, I was watching the Granada Sherlock Holmes series. And even though I was just a little baby asexual and didn't understand my sexuality at the time, it was so refreshing to meet a character who seemed a lot more like me. I mean, granted, he was way more intelligent than me and also a lot more of an asshole, but, you know, splitting hairs at this point. So guys, what did you think of my list of asexual characters that I love? You all can keep an eye out for my ace characters in my books to come, so that's exciting because I am going to try to be including a lot more asexual characters in my own writing, because somebody's got to represent us in the media and it might as well be me. Also, if you have any favorite asexual characters or characters you have headcanoned to be ace, comment below and let me know, and I will see you guys all again next time for whatever we happen to be doing next time. Bye!